First and foremost, all praise is due to Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, right? And the topic at hand today, and it's much love to our brothers and sisters, man. Much love to the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, woman, and child. But the topic at hand, we have to deal with Islam and Christianity, the thing that our people hold dear out of all religions and philosophies. I always like to have conversations with my Muslim and Christian brothers all the time, right? And every time I talk to a Christian, I seem to find myself following the book that they say they follow more than them. Every time I talk to my Muslim brothers, they say that I am a Muslim based off the practices that I follow. And a lot of these brothers always say they are not on their deen, but they tell me I am a Muslim, right? Based off the practices that I follow. And I'm going to further elaborate, right? You get that one where it says, bring all the everything under captivity in Yahweh Shai, or Jesus Christ, from the world, the ruin into the world. So, the reason why I must touch on these things, right? Some brothers may say, why touch on it? There's no compulsion in religion, right? Or as a Christian, they may say,
2 Corinthians,
it's not your job to convince the people. But the scripture from the disciples of Yahweh Shai, also known as Jesus and Isa, they came with something that we are supposed to do. We're supposed to do what?
This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 5. Casting down imagination.
So we have to cast down all imagination, all thoughts, right?
And every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God.
Every high thing that exalteth itself against who we call Allah or God, right? Which his name is Yahweh, the God of Israel, a Hebrew God, right? We have to bring all things under captivity. We have to test everything according to that, right, go?
And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahweh Shai.
And as my Muslim brothers will say, they are a slave to Allah. This doesn't go against that. This say that you must have obedience to Yahweh, obedience to the Most High God. Right? Hey, keep going.
Verse 6, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience.
And we must have a readiness for obedience. Obedience of what? The Torah. As the Quran says, to follow the Torah, and the Injil refer to it as guidance and reproof. As a Christian, you say you're a Christian, right? And the modern definition of Christian is to be Christ-like or follow the teachings of Christ. And what did Christ teach? He taught from the Tanakh, the Torah, the laws of God, right? What people call the laws of Moses. And these laws are broken down, right? That's it.
When your obedience is fulfilled.
It was,
It's not the Quran. It's the Hadith. It's a Hadith. You want to read it?
No, go ahead.
So what you trying to say for me?
No, it was me saying the same thing.
Are you going to break it down? Break it down.
So this is Al-Baqarah, Ayah 39 and 42, Abdul Halim in Hadith. It says, those who disbelieve and deny our messages shall be the inhabitants of the fire, and there they will remain. Children of Israel, remember how I blessed you, right? Honor your pledge to me, and I will honor my pledge to you. I am the one you should fear.
So your due diligence as a so-called Black or Hispanic person, you are an Israelite. You may call yourself a Christian or a Muslim, but if you use the Quran and the Bible with history, migration patterns, spiritual practices, and such foremost, we can prove that the so-called Black and Hispanic man are the Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. So you may be a Muslim or a Christian, but if you're an Israelite and you're a Muslim, according to this hadith, you're going to be held to a great standard. And there's going to be great punishment and judgment upon you if you don't follow the Torah. And for you Christians that say Jesus is Lord, Jesus is God, and all that stuff, if you're not following his law, when he comes back, you're going to get destroyed. That's just what's going to happen, right? I'm just keeping it plain, right? It's much love, though, to you brothers and sisters. But, and this is, I'm going to touch on some things, right? Christians and Muslims should listen up, because this is very important for you. Can you grab where David prayed 3 times a day? He prayed morning, evening, afternoon. That's in Psalms. So Muslims have a pillar. They pray 5 times a day toward the east. Where did this practice come from? We know the first Muslims were Arabs. Before our people, took upon the religion, where did Muslims or Arabs get the practice to pray 5 times a day and toward the east? Historically, you can argue that the Bible or the Torah, the Tanakh, was there first. But the practice of praying 5 times a day and toward the east is a Hebrewic custom from the Hebrew Israelite people. Right? So I'm going to show you that. Our ancestors, there was a standard that the prophet David in the English, he prayed 3 times a day. But the Arabs that followed Islam, they took it and tried to one-up it, and all right, 5 times a day. Now read this 3 times a day right there.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, and verse 17. Let's start at 16. As for me, I will call upon God, and Yahweh shall save me. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud.
So this is the prophet David praying 3 times a day, morning, evening, afternoon. Just how our brothers in Islam, and it's no blame to fault. I know our brothers, some brothers in Islam and Christianity, they mean well. But we have to look at the facts and the history. We have to examine these things. If you are a true Muslim or Christian, you must hear these things out. You must hear and examine. If you have a blind ear, you're no true Christian or Muslim. You must hear these things, right?
Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. And
the prophet David, he prayed 3 times a day toward the Lord, Yahweh, which is his name. He prayed. This thing that brothers in Islam think is special to Islam, which is in the Bible, or the Tanakh, as we call it, as Hebrew Israelites, right? And the one I need is where he prayed toward Jerusalem. So another practice that brothers think that is inherently in Islam, we pray toward the east. We pray toward Jerusalem. Just how our brothers pray toward Mecca, and the Arabs taught this custom, they got this from somewhere, right? We have to deal with history. History is unbiased. History don't care about your feelings. History is nasty, it's good, it's everything in between. It's unbiased. So before the Muslims prayed, right, which are the Arabs inherently, prayed toward the east, where did they learn this from? Because the Hebrew people were already a people. The Israelites were already a people. Isa or Jesus was a Hebrew man, right? You got that?
What you got?
And this is where the custom of praying toward the east came from.
Khan, it's the book of Daniel, chapter 6, verse 10. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open, in his chamber towards Jerusalem.
So his chamber, his window was open. And he's doing something toward Jerusalem, toward the east. Right? That's what he's doing. The practice is, you read it.
Toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day.
He kneeled upon his knees. And he prayed toward Jerusalem, toward the east, 3 times a day. If you ask me, this looks like one of the pillars of Islam. Does it not? Toward the east, toward Jerusalem, 3 times a day. And this historically existed before the Arabian man had the understanding of what a Muslim was. And they followed and got this practice from the Hebrew Israelites, from the Torah, the Tanakh. Just as the Quran says to refer to the Torah and Injil for guidance and reproof. And brothers that had this understanding, why not listen and learn and be slow to listen? And slow to speak and listen to your brothers, the Hebrew Israelites. Because this doctrine and this understanding existed before Islam and Christianity was even a thing. So it's just historical, right? So you can keep reading. That's all you got.
Khan kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he did aforetime.
And he gave thanks before his God, right? This God has a name. This name is not Allah. It's not God. Allah just means God in Arabic. In Christianity, when they say God in English, it just means God. It means power. And in Hebrew, it means powers when you say God. But who is this God? Who is Elishayim, as the Hebrew says? Which the word Allah comes from the word Elishayim in the Hebrew, or in the more modern Hebrew, Elohim. His name is Yahweh, the Tetragrammaton, YHWH, right? He exists outside of time, the Most High God. He has a name, right? And this is one thing I want to touch on. Can you grab love your brother as you love yourself? Brothers, like I said, not to boast, but to go back into it. Christians say they follow the law, right? To be Christian means to be Christ-like nowadays, right? But to follow what he did. And Christ kept the law. Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, or Jesus known as Isa. And a lot of Muslim brothers, like I said, they say, bro, you are Muslim based off the way that you pray, your customs and such on. And I'm like, no, I'm not, bro. But what do they mean by that? Why do they say that I am Muslim? Because they feel as though I follow what they say they believe to a higher degree, but I don't follow the Quran. I follow the Tanakh, the Messianic writings, right? You get that?
So book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
And we see this a lot with brothers, man. Just because you wear a Christian cross and praise dance, or you wear a thobe and a kufi, does not mean you're righteous, right? Those are items. Those are carnal. Those are tangible things. That shows no holiness. You are known by your actions, right? A lot of brothers will wear a thobe and mean mug their brothers and want to kill them. Or they selling crack, weed, all types of nonsense with a kufi on. Brothers have a cross on, gangbang, Crips and Bloods, and this block, and they live in West Philly. That brother live over in South Philly, so we hate him. Got a cross on. Talking about, I ain't perfect, or I ain't on my deen. We have to find a true solution of perfectness.
Right.
The Torah and Jesus, also known as Isa, which his name is Yahweh Shai, he teaches us not to hold an evil grudge toward our brother.
Right.
Even though he's in a different belief, I will not look at him look at him without cause and want to kill him for nothing.
Right.
Just because he's saying something that's contrary to me, because I'm not man enough to really study this information.
Right.
Right? I'm not man enough to have my beliefs questioned.
Right.
I'm not man enough to understand a different opinion. I want to bash him upside the head with a rock.
Right.
To be a man takes a lot of discipline. To be a real man, to gain understanding and wisdom.
Right.
Right?
Thou shalt, if you want to make
You keep going.
Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the house.
And even though some brothers that are Muslim or Christian, I don't know them, but I believe, like if they're my people, I still hold a level of love, even though I don't know them.
Right.
I'm not going to dig in his pocket. I'm not going to sleep with his woman.
Right.
I'm not going to feed him poison. Right? I'm not going to mean him evil.
Right.
Because that's what the Torah teaches. The Messianic writings of Yahweh Shai, which is his name, who we call today Isa or Jesus, right? The prophet, which is he's a prophet and he's the Messiah. He's not God in the flesh. He is the prophet and he's the Messiah, the anointed one. These are the teachings that we must follow as a people. So-called black man, woman, and child. So-called Hispanic man, woman, and child. Islam and Christianity, yes, it has done things for our people to a degree. But that's only a piece of the truth. Right?
It's the book of 1 John chapter 3 and 15 based on what he was saying in the law. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer. And ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him.
And if you say that you are a servant of Allah, or a Muslim, or you're a Christian, a servant of the mighty God, right, as they say in the church, again, this can be proven that you must follow these sayings and these teachings. If you stand up there and mean mugging your brothers with a cross or a thobe on, and you got all types of evil thoughts in you, you gotta get right, man. You have to change your ways. Because when you call Allah or God, the mighty God, right, as they say in the church, which his name is Yahweh, he's going to strike you down. You're being evil toward your people. And if you don't believe we are your people, and you a black or Hispanic person, and we can prove we the Israelites, well, it's two ways that's bad, right? Because us being the Israelites of the Bible, you're going to get destroyed because you're not following what we're saying. And then you're being evil because we're your people, right? Even if you don't believe we're the Israelites, you believe we black. That's a toxic mindset. Because I know when you go to the Arab man's gas station, he Muslim. He tell you, I'm a Salaikum, brother. You say Salam Salaikum. But he will sell you a backwood and a Dutch. He will sell you some pork salami sandwich. And you brothers that say you're not on your deen, these Muslim Arabs that's on their deen are selling you things that are haram. Why is that? Because you are not of their people. But our brothers can't seem to see that. They can't seem to see that. And our Christian brothers, they even far more destroyed. Right?
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 28. Yahweh shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
But sometimes I understand the Lord going to strike some of you brothers with madness, astonishment, and blindness. You may not understand it. You might want to kill me because of the things I say. Because your heart is blind. Your mind is not open. But that's of the Lord. And he's going to have you understand it eventually. He's going to have you understand this truth. And the things that I'm saying. Right? And can you grab Matthew 5 and 27. I think it says the law, not one law shall be done away until the kingdom of heaven. And you Christian brothers, y'all can't escape. Y'all walking up and down this plaza talking about some, I'm good. No, you're not good. The scripture says no one is good but Yahweh or God. How are you good? That's the thing with our people, right? They say they're Christian, they walk up and down across. I believe the Bible. I read it every day, but I don't see you keeping not one basic commandment. And if you can't keep a basic commandment, I know you're not keeping no major commandments. Right? I know you're not. Because Yahweh said you should know a man by his works. So I'm going to examine some things you're doing. Or you a brother in the truth, you say you're a Hebrew Israelite. You smoking, like for example, with our Muslim brothers and our Christian brothers. I see brothers, this Muslim always smoking weed. Smoking weed, man. And brothers may say, oh, that's not me, but it's a large population of brothers in Philadelphia that's doing it. They'll take their kufi off and hide it. Because I talk to them about it and they'll hide it. Because they feel ashamed while they smoking that black and mild. Or they smoking that blunt. I thought it was haram for brothers and sisters to drink alcohol. But I see them going in and out the liquor store with a kufi on, with a hijab on, buying some liquor. Right, brothers and sisters that's Christian, they say it's a sin to cuss and do all types of stuff, but they cuss up the most storms. Right, the standard of what they say, they're not following. So the scripture says, I must judge a man or a woman by their actions. Where Yahweh shall Jesus taught, right? You got it.
Matthew 5 and 17.
Oh, yeah.
Book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
So the prophet, known as Jesus or Isa, or the Messiah known as Yahweh Shai, he didn't come to destroy the law. He never said that he was God in the flesh. He never said that the law is done away with and we don't have to keep it. We still have to retain his law and keep it, right?
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass,
and heaven and earth has not passed yet,
one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
And it says one jot or one tittle because in the Hebrew, we write with jots and tittles. It shall not pass from the law. And what is the law? The law says that we should not eat pork. Brothers should grow beards. Sisters should not commit adultery on their husband, right? Brothers should not commit adultery and sleep with another brother's wife or wives, which some people have an issue with. You should not eat. And it's 4 categories of law. I always touch on this, right? You have ceremonial laws, civil laws, moral laws, and dietary laws. These things help us govern as a community, as a people. And that's it.
Till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments,
And for you Christian brothers and sisters, it says that who shall forever break one of these commandments,
one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
and it says that whoever shall break the least of the commandments, you shall be the least in the kingdom of heaven. What is this? What does that mean to be the least in the kingdom of heaven? Right? And the least of the commandments are several things. Like when you talk to a brother and you ask him, oh brother, you gotta wear your fringes and tassels, right? You gotta keep the Sabbath day. Or those are not that. I don't really gotta keep those. Those, you know, all I have to do is have faith. That's one of the weightier matters of the law. Or they'll say, you know, not to. They'll make up some commandments. It's not in the Bible, right? But this is very specific. The least of the commandments. What is the least of the commandments? Where do we go to find these least of the commandments?
Right.
Where are they located?
Right. Right.
If you ask a Christian this, they will have you go insane. They like, where do I find it? Oh,
Just read the Bible.
Just be an upstanding guy. Don't cuss. You know, go to church. Don't smoke.
I'm touching on the point. Them two Muslim sisters, literally, we were going to the point to stop the inquire what we was doing, right? So I give it a rundown, let them know. Black, Hispanic, Native Indians, we are people who are destroyed, so we choosing these different religions. And the first thing she said, I said, so the whole Arab religion was pushed by people from the Arabs. No, Arabs didn't make the religion. Allah made the religion. They try to play this gaslighting or scapegoat shit.
And that's why I said history does not care about. I always based the truth. I based everything off history. What made me come and incline to the truth is I was always a historian before all that stuff. Why? It does not make sense, right? And this is from I said history does not care about your feelings. It does not care about your emotions. It doesn't care about your political views. It doesn't care about your philosophy.
Right.
It doesn't care about whatever type of nastiness you went to, right? History is history. It's happened. It is there. It's stamped. You cannot change. It's happened. Islam, historically, was made about in the 7th century. It came after. It was, or they say, revealed. You cannot find any documentation before the 6th, 7th, or 6th century. Christianity started in the 1st century. Really, it started in the 2nd century. Realistically, with the Romans and all that. It didn't really start. It was no Christianity in the 1st century. It didn't really start until the 2nd or 5th century, going all the way in that era with Constantine. So before that, there was something. What was it? Do our people not stay up at night and think about that? I follow a religion that my grandparents or my dad or mom followed, and I never questioned it, right? Why do you not question something? You just follow whatever. You have to question these things. You have to examine where is the truth. Tells us to search out our Father. Search these things out. We have to search these things out. What are you, just a robot? Like you just like that, and that's the lifestyle that our people want to live. If he's a drug dealer or my daddy's a drug dealer, I'm gonna be a drug dealer, right? If my dad or mom is this, I'm gonna do that. We have to search out what the truth is. What did our ancestors really follow before Islam and Christianity? Because before they followed those things, there was something they followed before that. Like that, we have to figure out what that was, and that's what's located in the Torah, the Tanakh. Like that's what it's located in, right? That's all you got.
No, I got a precept. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 64. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there shall serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
And we're going to serve other gods that our father has not known. We're going to be scattered abroad through the West Sub-Saharan slave trade, through the transatlantic slave trade. We're going to be scattered abroad by other people groups that are not our people, and follow their ways, follow their teachings, follow their philosophies, and claim it as our own. That's prophecy. This is something that you must listen to, right? If you're a Christian, you say you follow the teachings of Jesus. Jesus taught from the Tanakh. What more can I say? If you're a Muslim and you follow Isa, right within the Quran, there was prophecy, not prophecy, but there was a saying in the Quran and one of the surahs that literally says you must refer to Tanakh or Torah and Injil for guidance and reproof. What more can I say, man? I'm not speaking this of my own. Why must you look at me with an evil eye? Why must your spirit want to flee and be afraid and hide behind rocks? These things must be heard out. These things must be listened to, right? And our people worship gods made of stone and wood, the Kaaba and the cross, right? I mean, am I not lying? Our people bow down to a cross. Is that not a thing that our people do? They idolize and walk around with crosses and say they know God, but not keeping one commandment, sisters being lesbians, and they are Christians, brothers being homosexuals, and they say they are Christians.
Right.
They do all types of vile matters of nastiness, pedophilia, they do all types of nastiness. They are Christians, right? And our people that's in Islam, they, touching on that again, they say they are Muslims, but they're not following these things. The practice of not eating pork, that comes from the Torah.
Right.
That literally comes from the Torah. You cannot touch the carcass of the pig. The carcass, in plain speech, is the dead body, basically. And if you touch the carcass, you're unclean. You cannot eat the pork. You're unclean. It's a sin. Or how brother says, haram. Where did this practice come from? We have to look at these things historically. They already existed. Right? And if y'all got no more else, I'm going to wrap up. All right? And for the most part, we got to search these things out, man. We got to search these things out. For you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, or Negro and indigenous, and those that are scattered about, we are Hebrew Israelites, and we have to come back to that. And I give all praises due to Yahweh. And I only do so in the mercy and the teachings that He allowed us to be, revealed unto us from Yahweh Shah. Right? And that's it. Shalom.
Shalom.